Welcome to the Classical Mind, a podcast about the great books in the Western canon. We're your hosts. I'm Father Wesley Walker.
Junior's here.
Wow, to the point.
That's right. We got stuff to
Well,
do. It's an exciting time.
it is an exciting time because this episode is to release the schedule for the next season of the Classical Mind. I can't believe it. This is going to be season 5.
That is
We've been at
crazy.
this for quite a while now, which is great. You know, the majority of podcasts end after about 2 episodes.
Look at
And
that.
so we've done a pretty good job. We're much
Better
further
than
than
most,
anybody ever thought we would be. So,
including us.
including us. That's right. So, anyway, so we used to do a draft, and I like that format a lot. But with life being what it is, and Junius and I both being pretty busy people, we have decided that we take matters into our own hand, plan the seasons out based on kind of our constraints and various other factors, and then we'll unveil the what we'll be reading to you all, our listeners. And so, without further ado, we can unroll the season 5 schedule. So, the season begins in October. We will have just finished the Lord of the Rings trilogy in September. And then in October, we will read Theogony by Hesiod, which is a great short book, and it kind of details the genealogy of the gods
Yeah.
and in Greek mythology. And so that'll be a fun thing to do. We've certainly seen the gods in a number of our books in previous seasons, the Iliad, the Odyssey, the Aeneid. And so to actually we haven't done the Odyssey, have we?
I don't know that we have. No, we haven't.
I don't think we have. So never mind. We haven't seen the gods there, but we've seen the gods in other places. And so it'll be nice to kind of know where they came from.
Yeah. And Hesiod is, we think, around the same time as Homer. He's the other fountain text. And so, in the sense in which Homer is the source of all Western culture, as it were, Hesiod is a stream feeding into that. But he's got a very different take on the world, and they even have some theological differences between them about the
Yep.
gods. And so, it'll be really good. I think this is a text that is not as well known today as it should be. And so it was going to be good to give you guys a chance to get into that and get us some thoughts out there to guide you through maybe reintroducing some people to it.
Yes.
And then after that, in November, we are going to go sticking with the ancient theme, but stepping outside of the Greco-Roman world. We're going to be doing the Book of Job from the Bible, which is a really, really fascinating text in so many ways, and it really is sui generis in Scripture. It stands alone. Job is not a Hebrew. We don't really know where he fits into things. There's lots of theories, of course, and it's a very interesting kind of account of suffering and of what faithfulness looks like in the face of that. And so that's gonna make for a great discussion.
Yes, I'm very excited about that. I don't think we've ever actually done a book of the Bible. We talked a little bit last season about the senses of Scripture and medieval exegesis, but that'll be a lot of fun to actually
Yeah.
delve into a biblical story.
Yep.
And then speaking of biblical stories, the following month, so December of 2026, we will do The Life of Moses by Gregory of Nyssa. Gregory of Nyssa was an amazing theologian in the early church, and he um, has this commentary on the story of Moses, and it really is a masterclass of patristic exegesis, how the church fathers read scripture. Um,
Hmm.
I won't give away too much, but it's brilliant stuff, and I'm
Yeah.
very, very excited to have that conversation. I can't wait.
Yeah. That'll pair well with the medieval exegesis episode as well.
It
Um,
will.
And then in January, and this is interesting, this is directly related to how much I loved Frankenstein. I was so blown away by it and so surprised by how different it was than what I had been led to think it would be that I kind of wanted to keep this weird gothic horror thing going. So, The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. By Robert Louis Stevenson, who's someone who, I've read Treasure Island and I love Treasure Island. I've read it multiple times and I've seen every movie they've done of it, which has been loads and loads. And so I'm really, really eager. Again, it's a book you think you know the story, but I've never read it, and so I'm really eager to see what the story really looks like when you get into it.
That will be a lot of fun. I love how much you love Frankenstein. I
Yeah,
mean, I love Frankenstein too, but I love how much you love it.
Yeah.
It's been fun. That's one of those surprises, I think. Um, so after we finish Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, we will do in February 2027, we'll do Around the World in 80 Days by Jules Verne. I don't have a lot of specifics about that story. It's one I've read a couple times, but it was when I was younger, and so I
Hmm.
just don't remember very much about it, other than that I really immensely enjoyed the story. And so I'll
Yeah.
be excited to revisit that with you. That'll be fun.
Yeah, that's another one that I haven't read, but I've seen movies of it, and it's, I think I know the story. I have read other Jules Verne's. I've read a number of Jules Verne novels in French, and I'm going to read this one in French as well. And I really like his writing. I like the way he puts things together. It's really they're fun spaces to inhabit. So I'm looking forward to once again putting, actual experience to the story and experiencing it in its original form.
That'll be awesome.
And then March, Beware the Ides of March, we will not be doing Julius Caesar, which we've already done, but we will be doing Shakespeare, and we're going to do the big boy. We're going to do Hamlet. Because, believe it or not, we haven't done Hamlet yet. And that is, one of the plays that everybody's teaching. And so we thought it would be helpful to put some of our thoughts out there about it. And also, it's my favorite Shakespeare play. And so I never get enough of talking about it. I actually have this really weird goal regarding Hamlet that I'll talk about when we get to that when we get to March.
That's a big teaser. That's a long
It is.
payoff for that.
That really is. So keep reading. I mean, listening or whatever you're doing.
Both. And then when we finish Hamlet in April, we'll do the Timaeus by Plato, which I'm excited. We always do a Plato in each season, it feels like, and Shakespeare. So
Hmm.
we might as well do them back to back.
Yeah, and Timaeus is really important to me because that was the only Plato they had in the Middle Ages. They had the first half of the
Mhm.
Timaeus. And so I actually may read that one in Chalcidius's commentary, which is the actual form the Middle Ages had it in. But it's a great dialogue in its own right because it's got a wonderful setup. It's actually the day after the Republic. And so I think it would be really good if schools, if they had the time to, were to teach these books as a pair or at least to nod, do something if you don't have them read the whole thing, but do some of the Timaeus the day after because it's a very interesting. What happens the day after you've done all this heady philosophizing that is the Republic? Coming out of that into May, we're going to do Northanger Abbey by Jane Austen. Now that we have converted Father Wesley to being a Jane Austen fan, we've got to capitalize on our gains. This is another one that I haven't read. I love Jane Austen, and I'm told that she thought this was her best. So I'm really eager to see what this one's like. It is, one of the Jane Austens that did that isn't a blank and blank. So very eager to see what that's like.
Finally, a decent depiction of an Anglican priest, too, I'm told.
Well, we shall see.
Um, so then June, we're gonna go modern, and we're gonna do Silence by Shisaku Endo. Shisaku Endo was a Japanese Catholic, and the novel Silence is it takes place in Japan circa 15, 1600s. And there's a lot going on in it, and it's a very profound play or novel. I really love it. I've read it multiple times, and I'm very excited to have that conversation.
Coming out of that, we are going to go way back to the ancient world again, and we will be doing the Odyssey. So, though we have not yet talked about the Greek gods in the Odyssey, following upon Theogony, we will be able to talk about the Greek gods in the Odyssey. And given that the Odyssey is, most people think the Odyssey was written later than the Iliad, perhaps 20 years or more later, a different stage of the poet's life, and that's an ancient claim. Ancient Greek literary historians thought that as well. It's quite likely that the Odyssey is being written cognizant of the content of the Theogony, but also it's just you know the probably the most important text at our moment, at our cultural moment in history. So we'll be getting a chance to look into that.
I'm excited about that. That's why I guess I was given a spoiler alert earlier when I was
That's right.
saying about the Odyssey. So the August we'll go to a little bit of a shorter book, though I'm excited about it. Principles of Human Knowledge by George Berkeley. Um, a philosophical text, and it's really about um empiricism versus idealism and kind of the dependence of or the kind of mind dependent nature of reality. very excited about that. I'm very drawn to sort of idealism as a school of thought, and so yeah, I think that'll be fun.
He's only saying that because Barclay was a bishop in the Anglican Church, and so he's supporting his team.
That's true. That's true. If I didn't like him, I'd get excommunicated. So
Yeah.
because most
Um,
Anglicans really care about who George Barclay was.
well, when I was at divinity school at Yale, the Episcopal Divinity School there is the Berkeley Divinity School, and it is named for Bishop Barclay,
That's
uh,
true. That's true.
which is ironic because once a couple of students were expelled from Yale for circulating Bishop Barclay's tracts back in the day, back in the
Were they
18.
really?
They were, yeah. I think it probably had a bit more to do with the Revolutionary War than with idealism, but
Fair.
nevertheless, there it was. And then we'll conclude the season with one of the greats, the Three Musketeers by Alexandre Dumas, and that's just it's just wonderful. I was asked at a conference this past weekend we don't why people don't read things like Three Musketeers or Les Mis or these sorts of things, and I said, well, the why they don't assign them in there, why they're not in the syllabi. And I said, well, there's two good reasons. One is that they're so long that they kind of wreck your syllabus. But the other reason is that most people haven't read them because they haven't been assigned for a long time. So these are these are works that have profoundly shaped the imagination for more than a century. And I think that this one particularly, this sort of, this French adventure novel, that's going to be a really fun way to bring the season to a close.
Yes. Yes. It's a good season. I'm very excited about each and every one of those entries.
Yeah, this is one of the fun things about doing this is that I'm always looking forward to the next book, and then at the time comes where we have to make the next season, and by that point, you've been going down this list, and so everything's been locked in for a long time. I've been planning my reading to make sure I fit these things in, and so it always feels like a new lease on life when we come up with a new season. But once we've done it, and I know that there are no shortage of great books out there, and that we'll die before we run out of good seasons we can make. But there's something really just so amazingly, it's like a gift each time to see the season come out and to look at this and think, wow, I'm going to be spending time in all of these books and over the next 12 months. That's just really exciting. It's so fun. We're so appreciative of you listeners for going with us on this journey, giving us the chance to do this. We're grateful for many of you write to us, catch us at conferences, reach out to us, and say how much these episodes mean to you, how you use them in your teaching, how they help to make the books clearer to you, and it is just such a joy and a privilege to be part of a community around these texts.
Absolutely. Yeah. Ditto. I think that's exactly what we hoped would happen with this, and it's been cool to see that community kind of coalesce around these books and these discussions, and I'm excited to keep it going.
All right, so we've just got a little bit of Tolkien standing between us and the new season, and so we will look forward to going through the depths of Mordor with you. But you've got fair warning of good things to come, so have an eye out, get your editions in hand, and get ready.
And in the meantime, keep reading.